We're already. Is that right? Did I count that right? We're virtually halfway through the bracket stage. 3 down, only 4 to go. The end is palpable. Hi, this is Vision Denial. I'm Sam, and this is our daily sweepers where I take dramatic readings of the notes. A couple of things to note if you're new here. My dramatic notes usually beforehand were just brief synopsis of my thoughts of the game. For these bracket stages over here, it's a lot more in-depth of notes writing from like stage to stage of each game. So not like synopsis of a specific game, but like breakdowns of parts of the different games. So like if it sounds like I'm just like recapping things, I'm more putting things into perspective that are not super obvious. Or at least my thoughts from it. It makes it easier for me to clarify my in-between games thoughts. Also, down below over here, I will be putting in some highlights. These highlights are created by the VCS, the Vietnamese Challenger Series. They are fantastic. Follow their YouTube. They have a fantastic league. They just unfortunately have not been able to participate in international stuff because of COVID for the last 2 years. And that's, a shame. They're a fantastic league. And yeah, as I move forward, we're going to be doing the Damwon Gaming Kia versus Mad Lions. I'd like to hear your thoughts if you have the chance. It'd be fantastic. With that said, let's get into it with our first game, where because of seeding, Damwon Kia get to have side selection and choose to take blue side, while as Mad Lions opt in for the red, not by choice, but because they have to. We start with the draft. Round 1, Damwon bans in Aurelia, Nami, and Jarvan. This suggests wanting to avoid some neutral objective fights, as the zone control that Nami and Jarvan provide, as well as Aurelia with their ultimates, would be a great opportunity for the waves of Mad Lions playing around those neutral objectives and around particular chokeholds. While Mad banning LeBlanc, Yumi, and Twisted Fate are trying to avoid any particular type of side lane or skirmishes that would usually occur during the late game or even during the mid game. Damwon Kia for their first round pick, taking Lee Sin, Miss Fortune, and Syndra, which is a fairly flexible type of composition that doesn't specifically round out where their win condition will be aimed, but it has enough flexibility to be good for team fights and skirmishes, as well as some siege, but nothing solely locked in yet. While a Mad Lion, who pick Aphelios, Graves, and Orianna, are dedicating this particular core to team fighting and siege. In the round 2 of bans, Mad Lion banning Kennen and Jace wanted to target Khan specifically, which winds up to be a theme during this particular series. Khan being the sole focus for the first 2 games is going to be a sticking point for the way that Mad approaches these games. But aside from that, in the round 2, DK are also taking away more skirmish options from Mad Lions, things that would usually help them from zoning, from lane control, from like choke controls, and usually would also help out for their laning phase overall, taking away the Thresh and the Xin Zhao. Thresh for Aphelios and Xin Zhao as any particular answer that would be detrimental to Lee Sin, if not completely partially. During the round 2, Damwon Kia take up their picks with the Rakan Gwen, looking to focus on a more 1-4 play, having Gwen be on the top side with their 4-man bot side skirmishing for neutral control. While as Mad Lion dedicate to the team fighting completely, pivoting what was their Graves in the top lane to jungle instead and picking up the Gnar and the Leona so that they guarantee some form of unified crowd control and follow-up for any type of engages. And we head into the game. And Mad set up some solid early vision that will, help track the jungle pressure. But as we hit 2 minutes in, every lane for Mad is losing. And Damwon Kia have tracked Elioya so well with some solid early vision that they end up with perfect information during the entire time. Damwon Kia being proactive, take a TP play to give Showmaker and Ghost more of a lead. And this early game just winds up being nuts. It's good to see that Mad Lion are trying to be proactive to get some leads where it's needed and to counter the pressure, but it allows to keep the gold within 2 to 300, and it allows the guild to stay within 2 to 300. But Damwon Kia keep pressure and control and the pace of the game within their hands. Now, Mad are playing some great pivots to answer Damwon Kia's map movements, which Damwon have a better map movement play. And they avoid a 9-minute Herald fight and instead pivot towards a dive bot lane. And even if it didn't pan out, showing this type of flexibility and this adaptability early in, especially when they're in a deficit, is a good sign for Mad Lions. Damwon do have stronger early neutral setups and stronger laning prowess, which at the end of it, by the 13-minute mark, lead to a 1.2k lead. And as we head to the mid-game transition, it looks like Damwon Kia are opposed to do an extended laning phase. But then the 13-minute mark actually hits. Damwon Kia catch out and have a very solid pick against Elioya and Karzi, and then move into an area of full control where just vision absolutely just littered in darkness for Mad at this point. Showmaker had such a strong dominance, managed to get the first turret just from laning alone. And I would hope that DK in this game had a little bit better and deeper vision. But given that they are trading up consistently during this game, or they're also just accelerating the pace, means that Mad can't contest even if the vision would have been deeper for Damwon at this point. Just to clarify on this, deeper vision would allow for better tracking of movement and would easily help catch out things, but given the vision denial that was already put in place and the solid control, even if the vision was deeper or not, Mad had no opportunities to do any contesting from this. Now, Mad do try to globally trade, but it tends to lead to deaths as they have humanoid split pushing instead of armlet, and this leads to him being picked off fairly frequently. Mad are avoiding making egregious mistakes while still keeping gold from ballooning too hard, but by the time the 20 minutes hit, Damwon Kia realize what kind of lead they have, pull the trigger, and take to skirmishes as well as the Baron without losing anything. We then have a 6k lead as we head to the late game transition at 20 minutes. Now, Mad are trying to push as much as possible to avoid Baron sieges from suffocating, but overextend and wind up giving Damwon the chance to break the base. Damwon are just showing how strong their coordination is and that they have such a clear understanding of like their composition's strengths and weaknesses. They wind up winning a 3v4 fight while having a 2v1 dive up into the bot side just to punish misposition from Humanoid. And with a 3.8k Baron power play and 2 inhibs means that Damwon Kia have full control and are in prime position to close with an 8k lead at 24 minutes. An overaggression in the attempt to close the game end up with Khan giving away a shutdown, but because of the lead and the base being in shambles, Mad can't do much else to garner more resources. And this deficit in gold and vision means that Mad won't try to contest the second Baron, and Damwon will use it to suffocate, dive, and then properly close out the game the second time around, leading Damwon to go 1-0. Now, Damwon, I have very little complaints. Most of your leads were accrued during the laning phase from good play, meaning you have much more flexibility in this game, and you didn't have to focus too much on where to put your pressure on the win conditions because they were steadily accruing the resources they needed to approach things. Your close was a little wonky, but you tend to right the mistakes, and you had too much of a lead for that to matter because you didn't give up 4 or 5 kills at that point. Mad, some very creative map movement and pivot early game, but the accumulating deficit means that didn't amount to much, especially when Damwon are making very few to no mistakes at all. Pick yourself a draft that aims to shortening laning phase and force Damwon to play towards a wilder map state, one that you can dictate instead of aiming for just lane matchups alone. And with that, we head into Game 2, where because of the loss, Mad opt to choose blue side, and Damwon are relegated to red side. As we head into draft, Mad's round 1 bans, getting rid of some strong team fighting and side lane options, wanting to keep their ability to roam very high up, which is a good call out from them. They banned the Aphelios, Twisted Fate, and Graves. The Twisted Fate is important to help avoid any type of plays that Damwon would have had to stop any type of roam, and the Aphelios and Graves being good team fighting options or good zoning options means that they are able to, create more skirmishes. Whilst on Damwon, they're trying to avoid the Lucian Yuumi bot lane and then take away the strong side lane option for Humanoid, banning the LeBlanc afterwards. This seems more targeted than anything else without any specific plan in place. It doesn't suggest anything. Mad One, for their round 1 picks, taking Misfortune, Rakan, and Jace, suggests that they're going to be doing a 1-4 composition with some solid dives off. Damwon Kia, on their hand, pick a solid skirmish core using the Lee Sin, Jace, Jhin, and Leona, and it implies wanting to play more towards their neutral objectives. And during the round 2, the bans, they're banning out the Jin Zhao and Rise at this point. They're banning out anything that would add any assistance to map movement or neutral control. And while Mad are trying to give Humanoid any particular solid matchup, banning away Aurelia and Syndra, which would have helped out Showmaker a lot during a mid matchup. I think, however, this round 2 bans are kind of silly, given that within Orianna and Jarvan, Mad rounded out with just some solid dive options and follow-up to engages, making the plan super simple. Move around the map and dive. But the Orianna is a fairly solid neutral option for most of these matchups, and so doing this set of bans and only picking Orianna seems a little weird to me. On the other hand, Damwon round out everything with Kennen and Azir, which works incredibly well around chokes and jungle movement, indicating that they are doubling down on 5v5 and neutral objective play. Then we head into the game. Damwon with the level 1 topside suggests they expect Mad to play something weird or to play topside actively. And as such, the call out was correct. Mad already showing some strong proactivity, shutting down Khan's laning phase at 3 minutes with 2 ganks back to back and 2 quick ganks, like barely 20 seconds between the two. And recognizing the win conditions they need to aim for. Damwon have some stronger vision and are opting to use it and have Barrel roam top to try to equalize the pressure that Mad had created. And Mad are keeping this punish Khan train going. It helps them get a 1k lead at 6 minutes. Scratch that. A 2.5k lead at 7 minutes as they repeat this dive and get successful 3v3s over and over again, getting 3 for nothing. And Humanoid, especially on their first 3v3, stopping Showmaker's teleport is huge to guarantee that these sets of plays were successful. That teleport going through would have flipped the play and they wouldn't have had the same kind of control. Mad have chosen to not have a laning phase in this case, which, yes, is such a good pivot. I mentioned between the notes that, like, if Mad opt to not have a laning phase or have to have a very short laning phase, it would hurt Damwon Kia over time. Um, and honestly, with that, they end up getting control of vision on the top side, the Herald, the Gold Lead, and now with the first turret on Armut and solid control of the pace of the game, Damwon only have to realize that instead of matching the play, they have to pivot and invest into the bot side instead. Both teams play with some incredible aggressive vision, and as we head into the mid-game transition at 11 minutes, Mad need to use their 3.5k lead and keep up the pace or lose out to scaling team fight at some point. Keep that in mind. Mad, with the 12-minute play, 5 people bot side to stop a turret take, keeps the turret lead and pressure as Damwon Kia have very little time to answer and are second to plays in this game. Khan keeps getting punished, and any proactive play is being met with very little to no success as Damwon are now 4k down at 15 minutes. Mad with this map movement have managed to grab 2 Heralds, a Drake, but they seem to be slowing down at this point during the mid-game, and they shouldn't at this stage. This is not a great sign considering that this clock is ticking in this game. Scaling will happen. Even though at this point it's not guaranteed that there's a comeback that should be expected. They're doing so now with full control of vision, but this sentence is weird. As there's so they do actually slow down at the stage, and now with full control of vision, they still seem to somehow overstep, and Damwon find a moment to punish. And this is a very solid punish because, given the gold deficit, it amounts to an even trade. Granted, Khan ends up being dove shortly after, but this is notable. The fact that Damwon are even given the opportunity to do an equal trade at any given point points out to how strong of an understanding they understand their team fight composition, or at least their limits. Mad have incredible vision denial and can properly set up for Baron, and instead keep trading 1-for-1s though that they can't secure. To be specific, they can't secure the Baron. And as we enter the late game transition at 22 minutes, Mad have a 6k lead but are trending towards even trades, and again, that's not a good sign heading into the late game. Damwon Kia at 23 minutes 30 seconds punish a greedy engage and out team fight with a huge deficit winning, getting 3-for-2, showing that Mad planned early in mid game very well, but this late game is not super understood and is not as solid. They still get soul point at 25 minutes 30 seconds, which means that Mad now have options to pressure globally, and they should use it. Damwon, in the meantime, while are also being proactive with some strong vision, and Mad have shown some weaker vision denial at this point, are trying to control some areas of the map that probably shouldn't be theirs. But, Mad's control is fully there. It just means that they need to be measured and coordinated with the control. But Mad not keeping up with the pace only benefited Damwon, who were given chance over and over again to set up vision and around Baron and doing all these setups, meaning they could play up their better team fight. And at the 28 minutes, get a 5-for-1 team fight, securing a turret and Baron for all 5 of their members, straight up equalizing the gold at 31 minutes. Mad get a consolation Mountain Soul, but the fight that happens afterwards, where they lose a 3-for-3. It's given who was left surviving, and they lose a turret. Damwon flip the script at this point and gain full control of this game. Canyon also is on fire. And Damwon are hitting their win conditions of the team fights and a gold lead at 30 minutes, which is huge. They might up ending up having a huge 35-minute team fight, punishing Humanoid's lazy recall location, and allows Damwon to get another 5-for-1 team fight and close out this comeback of a game. On a switch of a dime, what was 24 minutes of total control, done in 10 minutes, the game over. Holy moly. Damwon with that go 2-0. Damwon have played an incredible comeback. Granted, they should have recognized a little faster that they needed to pivot to a global answer instead of trying to answer everything from the top. But the patience and finding some opportunities to trade even allowed them to scale and bring back the game for their lead. Mad, you had a fantastic strategy, and you should aim to do something similar but not quite the same again. But slowing down the pace won't help keep things going. You have to up the pace of the game, especially during the late game if you want to. And if you did do so in this game, I don't think you would have had a doubt in my mind. You probably would have won this game. Otherwise, other than slowing down the pace when you shouldn't have, there's no complaints about the way that you approach this game. And then we head off to Game 3, where Mad, still having lost, opt to blue side again, and and Damwon are relegated to red side. In the draft, round 1, Mad Lions just bans the same things: the Aphelios, the Grave, the Twisted Fate, and Damwon Kia do the same thing. This implies the same kind of information again, but you'll see that the round 1 picks show something different. Mad give away the Lee Sin again, but they end up instead picking some heavy team fight options, opting in for Misfortune, Wukong, and Rakan. It allows for good team fighting and some solid side lane options, and a lot more flexibility for a whole lot of other things to be added on. Damwon on their end, with a Jace, Lee Sin, and Syndra, opt into Siege and Dive, taking away the Jace and helping avoid a similar scenario from the previous game. Round 2 bans, with Jarvan and Jin Zhao banned away, answers any particular jungle options that would aid in team fighting for Mad Lions. While Mad bans Barrels, Leona, and Ghosts Ezreal, helping to, avoid any of the safety that Ghost would have had, and avoid possibly a fairly solid set of engages from Barrel, who's been playing incredibly. All of the members on Damwon are playing incredibly, but they're specific highlight players that they're likely trying to avoid with the kind of composition that they're aiming for. Now, Mad round out their draft with a solid engage, solid engage options and wave clear, allowing some team fights around the chokes and to answer any particular type of siege or dive. The Victor and the Gragas do have some struggles early game, but given the type of poke and siege comp that is available, the wave clear from Victor and the ability to do re-engages from Gragas is a solid pick. Damwon pick Ziggs and Pike, and they have also some solid wave clear options on their end, as well as sieging options to boot. They keep doubling down on it, as well as Barrel doing more incredible particular roams, have just now added a champion to enable that. Ghost will play safe while the other 4 in their composition shut things down as we head into the game. Damwon are adapting from the previous game, making sure the vision on the top side is set at level 1 and pull a delayed invade. Also, Predator Syndra. I think this really hurt a lot of the ability that Damwon had going in, and I don't know if this was a mistake or on purpose, because I did see that it did aid in terms of the movement for Showmaker, but I'm not entirely convinced. At the 3 minute mark, Damwon dived the topside to aim for their win condition, similarly to how Mad played the previous game. And they're tracking Elyoya very well. Damwon are already getting kill advantage, 3 for 1 with solo and 2v2 kills. And Mad are still looking for proactive plays, but Damwon have just better map movement so far. And are always ready to answer any kills and keep up the pace. And like every game so far, Damwon have such strong vision, are able to play around the neutrals with zero issues, and Mad are having the hardest time finding any avenues to start fight or even contest any of these objectives. Armut is playing so far behind, he dies to Khan solo. Like twice, I think, this game actually. And Mad managed to find some punish to get 2 for 1 kills, where Ghost is playing too far up the lane. And as we enter the mid-game transition at 12 minutes, Mad have pivoted into stopping Ghost instead of answering top side of the map to stay within the 1.5 gold difference. The first 14 minutes, neither team are aiming to take Drake, indicates that they want to complete the turret pressure first, getting rid of everything first. As the game moves on, Damwon are just keeping up the pressure. And making sure that they have numbers advantage, allowing them to set up vision and neutrals to get the first Drake and the second Herald. But Mad, as they enter the mid game, start playing fantastic vision at this point, where they can to where they want to go. This is a terrible sentence. Mad are playing with fantastic vision to where they want to go. There we go. So they're playing towards the side of the map where they want to go, which allows them to garner some resources. But the pace is out of their control at this point. And so the way that they're playing with this vision, even if it's solid, is mostly a response to the way the Damwons are indicating their first plays. Khan at some random point is mispositioned, but Damwon are still answering fantastically with a solid turret sieging. They dive the top side. It seems like any mistakes are being that are made are answered with a trade up for Damwon, making it hard for Mad to garner any leads or fights. After Damwon at the 21 minutes, we head to the late game transition with a 10k lead for them and full control with 2 Drakes and the setup for the Baron. That said, the Baron setup was very sloppy, and Mad punish. Again, sentence weird. And Mad ended up punishing, which gets them a 4 for 0, which means that when Mad secure the Baron, they have to desperately play off any resources and so many teleports to take rid of as many Baron buffs that have been secured at this point, only garnering 1. Mad are making as much as they can with this Baron, shrinking the gold lead to 5k, and making it so the Damwon play risky and wild. And this is where we start entering the Twilight Zone part of the game, I would say. Damwon are making such silly mistakes, and Mad are also playing fast and loose. They losing the fast and loose, losing the soul point. I don't know why I autocorrected that way. Which gives Damwon Kia the map pressure that they need. Having given up 3 Drakes, despite having the Baron lead and having regained some sense of control, means that Damwon now have control of the entire map across the board. But neither team have pace at this point. It seems to be traded back and forth, and it means that at any point, it really is decided on who has the first, who responds to the first engage better. Now, Canyon is still playing out of his mind. He didn't die at all. And Mad have found some avenues for some strong wave manipulation. But Damwon still have some strong vision denial and are flaunting a little, and are floundering a little despite it. Choosing some weird target selections during some fights, they end up losing a Drake, which delays the soul. But their picks allow them to get the Baron afterwards. And both teams are playing, again, they're playing fast and loose. There's so many weird decisions being made. And you can tell that Damwon is eager to close out the game, and Mad are desperate to keep the game alive. Damwon with the Baron are doing super well to play more than one lane, but Mad are answering equally as well, making sure that their base isn't broken from this Baron. And Damwon needs to be commended for the vision denial. As this, they spend the next 3 minutes here just like completely blacking out the map, forcing Mad to have to come in weird angles that benefit them in no way, shape, or form. This is the textbook definition of vision denial. You are in the dark. You have zero information. And with it, it's used to make super disjointed fights that allow them to secure the soul and punish the mispositioning from Mad Lions, as it's 1, 2, 3 different kinds of mispositions and engages that allow them to get to this point. And with that, they take the soul, they take the win, and they close out the game, going to the semis undefeated, which is the first since SKT in 2015, 2016. Don't remember the year, but it's the first time in a long time since we had a team going into semifinals undefeated. Holy smokes. With that, the series ends down 1, 3-0. My thoughts about this? Holy Toledo Joe. Like, if we want to talk about like how nutty it is to see a T1 looking back in form and a Damwon looking this dominant, this is the two top teams of the tournament. And Damwon have mostly given us a masterclass in what it looks like to be dominant and control the entire time, how to delay and gain back control after being down behind, and how to create chaotic fights that win in your favor. Now, games 1 and 2 are fantastic for Damwon. Games 3, a little bizarre. They had a great setup from early to mid game, flub up the mid game a little bit, and then ended up having to flounder a bit to their approach, which tells me that like Damwon can be can lose during this tournament. There's no doubt in my mind that like I don't think this is the year. If this is the year that we get an undefeated team throughout the entirety of the tournament, history, beautiful, love it. If it's Khan's like last year, he wins the world championship undefeated in the tournament, what a send off to his retirement. Best way to retire. Honestly, I would love to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. The reason for this is that they'll have to face T1, who equally as strong as team fighting, if not better in some regards, because they both pick composition that no matter what, despite it being not great for team fighting, or their scenarios might not be great for team fighting, they will find avenues to do so. And do I expect like Damwon to lose against T1? The academic answer is no. I picked them to win the whole thing way earlier. I'm pretty sure they were top of my ranking for quite a while. And to me, it's just a situation of like, how do they lose? And Game 3 is a great indicator of that, as it seems like any disruption to their vision, any disruption to the way that they approach any team fights, the second that they are not dictating and that they have to answer, they make a lot more mistakes that are easier to punish. Granted, you have to do so much earlier in, and the way that Matt approached their second game, if they made sure that the vision was also completely denied on a more consistent basis, where Damwon could not bring any avenues to get the vision for themselves, I think Damwon would have made more mistakes and Matt would have been able to close out the game. But that's a lot of what ifs. And so I think making sure that they don't get any of the benefits from laning phase and that they don't have the benefits from any of the vision sounds like it would be a standard play, but because Damwon are so consistent and so persistent with this, I don't know how well any of the other teams are going to pull it off. So, to to me, if I was going to say T1 was going to do it, I would think that they would have to not hyper target Showmaker in any way, but to actually, in fact, target Canyon. And I don't mean just ban his Lee Sin. I mean, like, seriously harm the jungle pool. Because there are a lot of their vision controls between Canyon and Beryl. But Beryl's champion pool is going to be whatever. He literally picked Pyke. They like ran down the list of as many things as you can. And he ended up picking Pyke and doing fantastic with it. I think Canyon is the linchpin here. But that's just me. And that's just from like a draft perspective. There's a lot more in the game itself that needs to be addressed. And it's a lot harder to execute things on a micro to macro perspective, especially when Damwon have such a high coordination, so that you would need to really pinch one of the players so that the coordination becomes a lot harder to do. And they managed to show that. The second they pinched Khan and it was harder for the coordination to go off, the early to mid game for game 2, fantastically. It's just that they stopped doing that, and then they were able to come back slowly with a set of incredible team fights. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. This was a lot of fun watching, even if it was a short series. Mad put up quite a fight. I don't think some people have tweeted out it felt more like a 3-1 than a 3-0, but Damwon have such a solid understanding of the meta and such a good grasp on how to get this game, and their coordination is just out of nowhere, that this was mostly an inevitability, and it was more about how Mad showed up than how Damwon won. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to see any of your thoughts with this. With that, the next series that is going to be playing tomorrow is Gen G versus Cloud9, which I think is going to be a lot closer than people expect. But if you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate all of you who watch. It means a lot to me. And with that, when Gen G versus Cloud9 finish tomorrow, I'll see you then. And we're going to be only 3 more series left after that. Wow. Well, see you tomorrow then.